Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the first ever episode of ARK TB96. I'm your host, Creptile, or JD, to JD3. We can go by whatever, but Creptile's what I'm opening with, so that works out for me. Um, I am so excited to get started on this. This is going to be freaking awesome. Uh, Premise, I've played Ark for years, pretty casually, but like I get pretty hardcore into it at some points, and up front, I haven't had a lot of fun with the game for a long time, and doing this challenge and getting this together with help from friends and my own experience has been absolutely so exciting, and I cannot wait for you guys to hopefully try this yourselves, or at least at the minimum, watch me do it and join me along for the road ahead. But I am stoked to say the least. So premise is pretty much as the title crawl goes, is that and I don't know why that just looped, but we pretty much have to go into doing these spin wheels to get loot randomly assigned to us, and then get a random assigned creature to go after it. So without further ado, let's go to the spin wheel page. So here we go, which I love OBS. I've never used it before until getting into this. Took a long time getting all this set up, and I am so happy with it. So OBS is the best thing that's ever happened. So awesome. So here is our whole array of boards we got going on. We got melee weapons, offhand utility. We got lethals and traps, armor, additional movement reserves, firearms, attachments, tech gear, and we have the big 96 spin wheel. So a couple of things to note before we get into this. The tech wheel is not actually active until the 12th run, or each consecutive 12th run we get into during this, or 12th hunt, I should say. Got to get my terminology right because this might get a little confusing as we get into it. There are 96 hunts. This is considered, all of them together are considered a single run of ARK TB96. So on the 12th consecutive hunt of the run, so that'd be the 12th, the 24th, the 36th, the 48th, etc., etc., etc. We get to use the Ark. We get to use the tech spin down wheel. Now, granted, the only difference between that compared to the other ones is that unlike other wheels, that wheel will, the item that's used can only be used once during the entirety of the run. So if I get like a tech pistol on run number 12, it cannot be used during run number 24, and so on. But we'll get to that bridge when we come to it. We still have 11 more of these to do, which all might be complete disasters. So let's get into start spinning and see what we get. So I'm going to start off with the melee weapons wheel up here. So let's get that rolling. I'm going to just start spinning these, and we're going to start getting into them. Let's do offhand utilities. Start spinning these. Get this rolling, and then I will come back and look at them as we get them. So let's see what's going on. Let's check here for armor here as well. Love the interact thing too. This is freaking sick. Let's look for movement. Get a bit of that going on. And then we need to do some firearms. Sorry, this is taking me a minute. I'm sure I'll get faster at this as I progress through this all, but right now it's kind of a bit of a hot mess to get out of. Attachments, let's do interacting. Get that rolling, and let's see and assess what we got going on before we get into the monster. Okay, so I'm seeing some good things, I'm seeing some bad things, and we'll go from there. So we have a melee weapon, we have a sword, pretty solid. We got a net gun as our first offhand utility. We get 2 of those, so I will be spinning that a second time. We get a large bear trap, which is pretty good too. Flak armor, which is arguably some of the best we could get. Definitely a solid tier armor. We have the fabricated pistol, which is not too bad. Fun fact is it actually does less damage than the regular simple pistol, but it actually has a faster fire rate, so that's where it makes up for its utility. We have a laser sight, which in my opinion is the weakest of the ones we could pick from, but better than having nothing. And I'm going to roll the offhand utility one more time before we get into the monster, because that would be just to make sure. So let me interact with that real quick. We're going to then spin this one more time, and if I get another net gun, I'll respin it again. I can't get the same weapon twice. I could hide that choice, but granted, it doesn't reload unless I open up OBS again, so I'm trying not to do that for obvious reasons. But it looks like we've got a boomerang, which, granted, isn't crazy impressive either, but it's there, so that's at least noted. All right, and now, oh man, I'm nervous. I did a rework of this list so many times, and you guys will get the full rundown of all that kind of stuff in the editing I'm going to be doing. But this is so concerning. There's so much bullshit I don't want to fight on here yet. I want to start as easy so we can at least get a couple of wins under our belt, but I might be jinxing all of us right now. So let me look here real quick and get the big 96, and we'll do an interact. I'm so concerned. What the hell are we getting for round one? For hunt number one, what are we getting to kick us all off? I saw that plesiosaur and I was like, oh my god, please, we can't. But baryonyx is actually a really good start. So pretty cool thing. There's going to be a unedited version of this video coming out, which is going to have all the content of me going through and calculating stuff by hand through my system. But for all of you who are watching at home, this first episode, we're going to be debuting our analysis system. So now that we have all of our equipment and the target creature assessed, let's run the analysis. And then that's going to happen. And for all of you who watch the extra content that are here, you're going to get to see this boring part. Not really boring, kind of interesting of me doing all this. So let's get into that. So I'm going to open up my file. I got a whole spreadsheet of information I got to fill out now, which is interesting and fun. So let me get into that. So dinos, we've got the baryonyx, which is a pretty solid animal. It's not bad. The hardest part about it is that it's going to be in the swamp biome. I got it rated at a 4, which is not terrible. Just a little higher than average just because it is a predator. It has the spin attack where it can paralyze me and it can swim. It's pretty fast too, and considering it's in the swamp, it's going to be a nightmare to get to. Let's go to the attack gear. We got none of that. Excellent. Melee weapons. We've got a sword, which granted is probably one of the best picks we could get. So sword is pretty solid. Offhand utility, we've got a boomerang, and then we also have a net gun, which that won't be too helpful. Net guns are good more for tranquilizing, or not tranquilizing, but taking them down. I'm pretty sure they can't fit a baryonyx in, though. We could try it and see what happens, but I'm kind of concerned that won't work out. Lethals and traps, large bear trap, which is pretty good too, so we can catch it, which is great. Advanced pistol, which again, not the best, but not the worst. Silencer, which is, in my opinion, the worst one we can get, or the laser. Sorry, not silencer. The laser, which is not the best either. We could definitely do better. Armor sets, we got flak, which is pretty solid. I'm definitely happy about that. And then movement reserves, we did get none for this, which kind of sucks. It's always good to have that reserve there. It's going to increase difficulty a bit because getting around is a bitch in this game. But that's why I have all the stuff that I have. So we got that. We have no penalties, no special ammo. And so with that, we can check the campaign rating. And we're at a solid 7, which actually is not terrible whatsoever. Seven's like middle of the line, so I would consider, and I'll get into this in the analysis stuff, and I actually going to even put it into here at some point, or an explanation video going over all the rule sets, how everything works, and getting into all that in a different video entirely. But pretty much I would say 1 to 4 is considerably easy, like it should be a no-brainer problem. 0 to 4, real easy. 5 to anything above 4 to 7. Honestly, 4 to 8 would be considered like a pretty mid-tier challenge. It's going to be somewhat difficult. There's things that definitely could go wrong. It might pose difficulty. It might not be too bad. The higher end of that spectrum number is leaning into the hard, though. And then I'd say anything between 8 to 10 is going to be pretty difficult. Either a rough creature, penalties, all that kind of stuff. That's going to be hard. And then anything above a 10 is going to be just like, oh my god, we're fucking dead. So that's just going to be really something we're going to rate that off of. But with that, we're going to hop into the next thing I have to do, which is going to be setting up the equipment board. So let me get that up. So we got a 7 on the rating scale there, which I don't know if I can edit right now. So we got a 7. Large bear trap, which helps me out. Let's see here, we've got whatever that is. I'm gonna get rid of that. We just get to keep that, which is cool. Get none of this, which I don't know why it's not letting me select you. Oh, it's because it's just being laggy, which makes sense considering what we're doing right now. Wait for it to catch up. Okay, so we need a couple of things. Gonna need another X here on the movement edition, which that's honestly our biggest loss right now. Otherwise, this would be a 6 hunt, which granted, the movement adds a lot because that way we can get around, you know, with extra grappling hooks, we can escape shit that's on the ground. And we only have 10, which granted is not a bad number. It's just always better to have more. So I upped the difficulty because of that. You know, extra glide suit shit always happens in this game. So it's just always good to have stuff. Flak armor. That's good. So well, that'll be a real solid thing, especially because we're going in the swamp. Attachment, we have the laser. So let me get that out. If I can take on you. And then we get offhand utilities. We've got the net gun and the boomerang, which is pretty good, pretty solid. And then the melee, we got a sword, which I'm actually really excited about because that is humongously awesome. Which, I don't know where the fuck it just went. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay, it's lagging again. Which, again, valid. I mean, it's pretty rough, so I'm going to just save it. You guys will see what I'm doing after I get out of this page. And then I'm going to go over here. And let's go to creatures, and we need to get a baryonyx, which should be up near the top. Excellent. Get that bad boy dropped right in up there. Awesome, awesome. Cool. Looks really awesome. So at this point, the analysis would have concluded. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into locating this monstrosity. So we got these good old spawn maps that I have so generously put in. So let's look first at the island. Let's check that guy out. So I know these guys live primarily in the swamps and in the low region biomes. Now, luckily, the island itself only has one swamp location, so that honestly might not be a bad pick. I feel like the island is actually going to be pretty heavily relied on because of its simplicity. As much as these other maps are fun and insane, they're just so complex as things kept ramping up as the game kept getting better and better and better, and they kept adding crazier and crazier shit to them. And speaking of which, I'm only using the vanilla maps that the Ark, that Wildcard themselves have promoted, not including DLCs. So, the island is here, the center is here, Lost Island, Fjordur, Crystal Isles, and Ragnarok, and that is it. Those are the vanilla island, and then only mods supported entirely through Wildcard are on here. There's no Scorched Earth, there's no Aberration, there's no Genesis 1 or 2 or Extinction on here. There's no other modded maps. I'm sticking strictly with the vanilla, what you can get for free without having to purchase anything, which is good. That's what I want us to do. Very open source. So let's start first with this one. So I'm going to hop into here and interact with this guy. And then let's check for our baryonyx, which I think... Let's look here. Let's see. Oh, we were close. We almost had it. So these are spawn maps. So these go tell the likely spawns of where stuff is, which we have quite a good amount. So it looks like they're in that top volcano, and that's for the boss, though. We have like a mid-tier spawn along all the river systems, so it's not even just the swamp. These guys are kind of all over the place. Honestly, not terrible. It's not the best. I'd like to get a little more green. or at least closer, but it's a lot of uncommons. So looks like it's generally uncommon on the main island, but again, the simplicity of the island itself might be an ally we can rely on heavily. So let's check out the center next and see what we can get from that. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this here. Let's see if we can get anything better out of the center. And I apologize, this takes a little bit of time, but clearly I'm trying not to lose, so I don't want any of this to happen if we don't need it to. Okay, here we got some green. Now, granted, the center's a bit more chaotic. That's all swamp up in that midsection, and I hate that section. I also haven't played on there in a hot minute, so that's going to be interesting to say the least. But we got a lot of swamp section going on. But the ring's there, and that's somewhat common, so that's not terrible. It's definitely, I think, a little better than the island, but again, the center's a bit more dangerous, I'd say, in my opinion. Let's check out Ragnarok. I think this might not be a terrible one either, but I could be proven wrong. So let's interact with that and get over here. Let's see. Again, sorry, hopefully this isn't just rambling of a madman, but we will be cutting through this probably. Wow, low on here too. Damn. That mid-valley would be a trek and a half, and I would not want to be a part of it. That left side, that's all swamp too. Damn it. I'm having a rough pick here. Alright, let's check out Crystal Isles. This is kind of fun and kind of interesting. I only have played a limited amount of some of the maps in here. Like, Lost Island I've played some. Crystal Isles I've played a little bit of. I was kind of out of Ark at the time. And then Fjordur I've also only played a smidget. I know the essentials that are needed, and some of the animals in the list are only here because of Fjordur and Crystal Isles, such as the Aberration creatures and the Genesis creatures and Extinction creatures. But I am not as familiar with these maps. I just know they're full of absolute nonsense. So it'll be part of the learning curve to figure out what I need to do for these maps specifically, if I even should consider hopping in them. So let's see if we can do Baryonyx. Now that one is a lot more widespread, which is kind of enticing. That's a lot of spawn points possible. It might be a Crystal Isles run. It might be. Let me also unplug this. I'll just have this in this whole time. It might be a Crystal Isles run, which, granted, I don't know, because they have a lot of aberration creatures on the surface, and those guys are screwy. And we do not have a lot of firepower. We have the melee weapon. The sword's good to fend them off, but I'm somewhat concerned about that. All right, let's go to Lost Island. Let's check that out. That'll be next. It's going to be an interesting pick here. I mean, Baryonyx is a weird animal. It's an odd pick. I don't know how I feel about it, but at least to say we got to head up to the challenge. And it's not a terrible start. It really isn't. That looks a lot better. Okay, that actually looks awesome. Now, it is swamp water, but that's a guaranteed spawn. Pretty much. That's almost immediately guaranteed. So that's a lot less trekking. It's pretty much, if we can isolate this down to get immediately in there, kill it, and get out, like, we're done. Because once we kill the animal, unless specified otherwise, we're done. Like, we won the hunt. So that might be an immediate cop. Now, granted, it's in the swamp, which sucks. I hate the swamp. The swamp's full of shit. But that might be just a good pick there. Yeah. I'm going to keep that in mind, and then Fjordur will be the last one we check for obvious reasons. But Fjordur, I don't think I'm going to be going too much aside from when I absolutely have to, because this has literally shit everything, and the climate's rough. All of it's rough. It's so rough. Even the easy spots to spawn are a bitch and a half. So not really looking to get into that, but let's check it out anyways. So Baryonyx. Yeah, nope, fuck that. That's gone. No way are we going there. Oh, man. All right, so Lost Island, I think takes the cake, which is going to be a fun start, but I am bit concerned about that. So we'll see what happens, but I think Lost Island's going to be the way to go. All right, and then with that, let's get over to the main set. So as you can see, this is what I worked on earlier. We got our main board there, and let's hop into the shit, which we got all that up. Let me set the XP multiplier down to 0.1. Actually, let's go 0.01 because I'm going to be self-leveling myself up. And let me exit out of this, and then Lost Island, and then single player. So a couple things to note about what's going on and how it's going to be getting handled. As a player, I'm going to be spawning in with not only these items, but I also get a set of utility items. And I'll include a list of these too, probably in the explanation part of the video when I go through all the rule sets and stuff that I do. Pretty much I just get stuff that I don't want to really spin for. It's just stuff that I would like, if I didn't get it, it wouldn't even make the hunt possible. And some of the stuff that, like, granted, I think as a survivalist, I'm going to need as utility anyway. For example, scuba gear, tent, canoe, GPS, compass. And unless I get something that tells me I can't have it, I'm going to have it. And it took a long time going through this list, but I think that was just some of the best scenario stuff I can go through. So, got our person here. Going to name him Uman because that's who we're going with. Or Uman. Oh, man. Oh, man. Maybe we go Oh, man. Let's go Oh, man. Oh, man. And then Gloomy Coast. Now, granted, like I said, my map's not even filled out. So we're really getting into that. But I think this is close. I'm going to double check my spawn map here. And that looks about right. So we're in the Gloomy Coast. That looks pretty close to the 60, 70-ish range. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's going to be the Gloomy Coast. So Gloomy Coast for Oh Man. Or Uman. I don't know if I like better Uman or Oh Man. Let's go Oh Man for now. Uman will be next. All right. And create new survivor. Now, granted, I do enter creative mode when I go into this section to get my stuff in. So if there's something immediately threatening around me, I'm going to try my best just to get around it because I don't want to have to deal with it. I'm going to take a quick second, though, just to adjust the volume over here for the audio mix. But hot diggity demon, we are going to be getting into it. I also want to adjust my actual volume if I can, because sorry, this is just not the worst thing, but I want to just knock it down a peg just because I got a lot of it's coming in pretty heavily, and now I can knock this back up. Let's go a little bit lower. Sorry, this is part of the playthrough. It's not what I'm trying to do. I just don't want it to be too loud on myself because I can barely hear as it is. Alright, this looks like a pretty safe spot to equip up, so let's get going. So I'm going to do tab, GCM, and going to, let's start getting our stuff together here. So I've got my melee weapon, let's do a sword. And then let's do bear trap. And then let's do net gun. And then boomerang. We've got pistol. We also have advanced. And for note 2, we also get 100 of this. So unless otherwise specified, we get 1 full stack of ammunition for any weapon we're getting. So then we go there. And then we need a laser. And then we get the flak armor. I think I gave myself 2 pants, which I didn't need to do if I did. Let's double check that, because if I did, I'll just get rid of it. Okay, cool. Let's armor up. And I'm going to go with... Let's go firearm in the first, melee in the second. I also need to get a couple other things, so crossbow. Now, granted, I can't load arrows into this unless it's an underwater mission. And I've clarified that because it's the only other thing that can shoot stuff underwater. But in the meantime, all I can shoot is grappling hooks, so I cannot use it as a secondary weapon. So that is just something to note. Climbing picks. And the ride suit. Do a quick glance around, make sure we're not in any immediate danger here. I mean, again, we're pretty much invincible right now, but I don't want to be choosing the game. So I'm going to put this in 3, because this is pretty imperative. Actually, we'll put melee in 3. Glide suit goes in the suit. Climbing picks. I don't think we'll be needing these, so I'm going to put these in 6. And silencer goes... Not silencer, I keep saying that. That goes... The laser goes in the gun. We'll do... Netwoo 4. I think maybe this might be imperative. Well, not imperative, but... might be useful. This goes in 4. The boomerang. We'll do bear traps at... The bear traps at 7. I think I might need the harpoon launcher for this one, so let me get that. Which, granted, I don't actually get harpoons. Again, it's just for the net gun. Yeah. And then we've got a... Our standard equipment, so we need GPS, which is in crafting. We need a compass. Basically redundant, but we'll find out later why it's not. We need a canoe. We need a tent. We need... I think I have my... double check on the list here. Sorry, I do have this up, but I have a whole spreadsheet that goes through this stuff. Just want to make sure we have all our stuff. Dot our T's, cross our I's. Dot our I's, cross our T's. All right. All we need is a set of the scuba gear. Excellent. Okay, so that should be all our standard stuff. Let me get this on the number 8 slot. Canoe, in case we need it in the pinch, I'll put in 0, and same with the 9 there. Excellent. Awesome. And then the last thing I need to do is I need to level up, which I'm going to check this again real quick. So let me double look here. Should be okay. Tab, add experience. I need to do a little bit more than this. So pretty much what I'm getting is I'm getting... Okay, I'm going to do a little bit more. So far this is working. I'll just get us up to 10. Or 15, sorry. So what we get is we get 15 levels every game to start to level us up into. So we can kind of better face our stats that way to give us a fighting chance so we're not just vanilla. Which I don't know why I keep hitting that, so I apologize. I'll just keep doing this until we get to 15 here. Which, you know what, I'll put a little bit more. Let me do Let's do 3,000. Actually, let's do 5,000. Yeah. We're getting there. Okay. And then tab. Cool. Awesome. So now we have 15 points to allocate. I'm going to move this over because it's blocking part of my view. So let's go for baryonics. I'm going to put probably 5 stats into definitely movement speed. We want to do a bit of stamina and a bit of health. Oh shit, you know what? Just realized I put all that in. Okay, I did. Never mind, I'm fine. Let's do 2 into health, and then last one I'll go into... Let's go stam. Yeah, stam. And then the last thing I gotta do is tab infinite weights. Actually, no, that might be wrong. Hold on, let me double check that real quick. Oh, I was right. Did I just do that wrong? Sorry for the delay. Don't know why this isn't working. Let's try true. Okay. What the heck is this? There we go. Don't know how I got that wrong, but so pretty much what that did is that gave me, I didn't want to have a weight limit for this contest because there's no sense in having to put stats into weight. It just is meaningless. So, alright, and with that, let's stock up. Got our load up sequence, which... Okay, I think we are ready. So, other couple things here as we get rolling. Actually, I wonder if... I was going to say is that we pretty much have a... I wouldn't say an understanding. Have a limit on... what am I trying to say? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. We're just going to focus on it. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. I can craft certain things. So if need be, I can craft like spears, picks, that kind of stuff, if I think I need them. But for now, I am not worried about it. So for right now, I think, at least as far as finding one, I'm going to kind of stick to the shoreline. Oh, my God. Nope, it's a parasaur. Okay. Never mind. Thought I saw that crest for a second, and I was like, oh, shit. Okay, they got me. Now, granted, this is not a long-range weapon, so I'm kind of concerned about the utility of this guy, but... we were hoping for the best, expecting the worst here, for certain. There's Sarka over there, so that's a concern. Trying to keep an eye on the coastline. Oh. I see something. Something sees us. Oh, that's a Castorortes. Okay, I couldn't tell what the hell that was. We got moss traps over that way. Yeah, I'm just trying, because it will be around water. It likes to hunt near water. It hunts fish primarily. I mean, we will kill everything else because, you know, that's what the AI does in this game. But I'm going to try to keep my eyes open for any kind of signs, pretty much, that we're dealing with baryonyx in the area. Which, if I'm not wrong, we're pretty much going right up that inlet, which is where the main spawn. So, we pretty much got right on the cake for the spawn point area. Like I said, they should be common around here, so unless we run into something else that's pretty nutty, we should be fine. Which, that's, I swear I just saw a Sarko up that way. Hard part, we've got this dense underbrush right up to our left here. I'm going to try to adjust a little bit, because every limb of my body needs to be actively ready for an immediate evac at all times in this game. If we can just find one and see it from a distance, that'd be awesome. I'm just concerned it's going to come up and spook us. Okay, we got Bono over here. Yeah, these rocks are concerning. I just don't know what we can see behind them. Okay, got a Pteranodon up there. No issues. Got a Bronco here. We got a Pelagornis. No, Gallimimus. Gallimimus. Something is attacking up there. That just swam across the creek and just ran for its life. So something did spook it. Looks like it's a Microraptor. Got another Parasaur. So we don't want to run into those guys just because they will aggro on us. We might try our luck crossing the river, but the big thing we got to worry about out here is Sarkos and Capros. Because if we run into either one of those guys, it's going to be a rough day in the office for us. But if this stays shallow, let's get a glance here. I don't see any crocodilians. So that's... Oh, nope. I lied. Okay, we got one Sarko that way, which we do not want him to catch us right now. So I'm going to stay as far over here as possible and try to trade shorelines. Got two, so that's good to know we have both of those around here. Again, really hoping we don't get in conflict with them because that would suck. Although realistically, I guess it doesn't make much sense why I'm crossing the river at this point, but at this point we're committing to it. I mean, there's nothing stopping us from going back right now. They're both in their own territorial areas at this moment, so hopefully they stay there, because that would be pretty bad if they decided to turn around. Now this is a lot of dense foliage over here. Again, real big concern. I'm pretty much trying to listen for any kind of sound. Luckily, Baryonyx is pretty vocal, so if he's nearby, we will definitely hear him. Try to stay away from the water's edge there, because I know that Sarko is not far from behind us. Yeah, that guy's cruising for a bruising. I'm not trying to get involved with that whatsoever. But the good news is that despite the Baryonyx's aggression, its health pool is not too big, I don't think, so as long as we can get it before it gets to us, we should be fine. And with the flak armor too, it'll help a lot. Okay, we're having some lag, which is never good. We don't want any of that happening. Keeping an eye on the crocs, but we're looking alright so far. The good news is we can outrun them on land with our increased movement speed, so that's movement speed is a godsend, because even if you have stamina, sometimes it's just absolute ass trying to escape something. Got a Casteroides den there. There's a lot of Sarkos. Too bad we're not hunting those. Sheesh. Guess we'll have to keep that in mental note for next time if we have to hunt them, but I'm going to try to move a little farther up the shoreline. Do not want to aggro one of those guys. Which we might here, honestly, if we're not careful enough. Which right now I'm sprinting, so I'm pretty much doing the opposite of careful. Oh my god, okay, there's one right there. Holy shit. Fuck. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to swap out. Let's get a little bit of leverage here. I do not want to aggro this guy. Which... yeah, he's aggroed to me. Shit. Okay, well, if we can climb up here, then we're fucked. So I might just... we got 100 shots, might as well use it. Fucking take that, alligator. Fuck you, bitch. Get the hell out of here. Whew. Alright, we still got more, but that one's aggroed onto something. And we got the swamp coming. Alright. Man, this is gonna be, I mean, my hesitation, and as you can see it, because as much as this firearm's great, took quite an amount of shots to kill that one Sarka, which, granted, they vary in health depending on their level. Oh, and that one fucking smells it. Excellent. Great. Okay, let's just try to get the fuck out of there then. Okay, or not. Okay, yeah, he's gonna try to fucking come up here. We're gonna try to get the fuck out of that real quick. Yeah, this pistol is not... This is why it's a lower tier, because even though it's... You know, it can do that damage output, it took literally like a quarter of our clip. A quarter of our full ammunition to get through that. So, I'm not really trying to spend that ammo unless we need it, because especially with baryonyx... I mean, granted, our sword could hopefully DAC one up, or pack one up if we get close enough, but I don't want to get that close to one. So... Man, oh man. This is a pretty open, peaceful field, which is nice. That's a good break from Crocodile Haven down there. Hopefully we can get a good vantage point. Maybe we can find one up here on these... I doubt there's going to be one this far. Oh, okay, that scared the living shit out of me. It's the Halloween thing. I'm not worried about it. God, that... Like, I don't know why. It was a slow rise, too. I thought for some reason a Polovia was coming up, and I was like, dear God. Got a Diplodocus. Really cool colors. So that's a good morph over there. But let's see if we can get any sights on a... Oh, there we go. Target spotted. Alright, and it's right out in the middle of the swamp. So that's not bad. Not bad. So let's... I don't want to just go jumping and flying. Let's see if we can analyze the situation. If we could kite him down here, that actually would be huge. So... I'm going to try to do a long shot. Which... accuracy is just not... There we go. Okay, we got him. So we should kite over here, which is huge. So let's see if we can get him to show up. I'm going to hop down on this rock, hopefully for a better vantage point. And let's see if we can get him. Come on, you. Jeez, terrible shot. Oh, he's coming up. Boy's coming up. Unload, baby, unload! And he's just taking it. I fell on his back. Cake! Cake! We got cake! It's this really old animated show I watched when I was like 2 that is like stuck with me like a fever dream, but it's like everyone's like, hey, we got cake. Everybody cake. We got cake. Everybody cake. We got cake. Everybody cake. Awesome. All right, we won't do that again. Real easy first hunt, and then and that goes to show, even though there is a higher rating pool. I mean, this is a 7, so it's supposed to be a mid-grade hunt. You know, it can be easy. I know for certain though. This is not saying a rare occasion, but it's probably not going to be this easy every time. Granted, this was a fairly common animal. So, yeah, good hunt. Good hunt, everybody. So we're good there. So we have leveled up on our bracket. So way to go. First hunt down, 95 more to go. So